Good evening. Welcome to another week, another edition of the Focus TV. We got Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., and Wilson Tarpe Jr. We got a lot to get through this evening. But before we get started, just a reminder, follow us all on, follow the Focus on all the different mediums you need to on social. We got a lot going on. There's been a couple, like Sunday was a jam-packed sports day. Tonight's one of those nights as well. Going to have a couple more of those days where, Ray, you and I have been talking, doing them recaps. Like we've been looking for like a little bit of reprieve here and there. I know last night was so good to me, just to have a nice deep breath. But the troubling part about this going forward now is now when we have like the little break, the next thing when we got games, like tonight, there's 4 games, 2 different leagues. But again, fun times. We wouldn't ask for anything else. Going to pass this over to Cardell because debuts and releases and things of that nature. What we got going on this week, sir?
Wrapping up the I-95 Coalition League, showcase finally. It's been a long month and a half, but wrapping it up with a new issue, Finest Mag, where I named my all coalition teams last week. I just kind of named the standouts and teams from the playoffs all the way through the championships. But with the issue, I'm naming teams from guys that shine throughout the entire month. Just giving them their due for staying consistent, for coming to play, especially, where it was easily to check out this summer, use that as an excuse with the pandemic or whatnot. A lot of kids stay focused, they stay with it. And, the players that did and stayed consistent when it was time to play, they reap the benefits because there's a lot of coaches that are hungry. They're out here looking for talent. And, I think it impresses a lot of coaches. It should impress a lot of coaches across the country to see players ready to play, after all that we all have been through. You know what I mean? So, check it out. It's at finestmag.com. Just go there, click on the issue, read it. Got a little report on each player. I'll go ahead and announce my MVPs for 16 and others. Cam Whitmore, Archbishop Spalding, Team Mellow Ford. You will be hearing a lot about him, not just from me, but from a lot of people across the nation as he continues to grow. And Khalid Kenny from Team Richmond, down to Richmond, man, just a high-flying senior, that really woke a lot of people up at this tournament. So he's the MVP of the 17 and other bracket. So, go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, one of those young guns down there already got, saw some offers and stuff, social media this week. So that's always fun times. Definitely get over to finestback.com. We only have an hour here with you guys every week. So, as much as Cardell is able to share with you guys, it's even more without those time constraints. So definitely get over there to get in-depth look at the 95 Coalition League. All right, Octavia, we're going to go ahead and pass it over to you. I'm going to go ahead and set the time to see how long this week's NFC East segment is and compare it to other weeks in the NFC East segment because the petty is real. And we're going to start 2020 off the best. I bet y'all know what game's not first. You can go ahead.
No, we're going to go. We'll get right into it and get it over with. Lucky I'm here. I really thought about calling out, but I'm here. I can laugh about it now. Like Sunday night, Monday, not so much. I can laugh about it now. It is what it is. It happened. Whatever. So Eagles played the Washington football team. And what I also found funny is how many times people kept saying Redskins during the game. Like they was like the hilarious. But they won though, so they got the last laugh. The Washington football team defeated my Eagles 27-17. Carson Wentz was 24 of 42, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 carry for 2 yards. He lost 1 fumble. Yeah. Boston Scott had 9 carries for 35 yards. Dallas Goedert, 8 receptions, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. And Zach Ertz, 3 receptions, 18 yards, 1 touchdown. On the other side, Dwayne Haskins was 17 of 31, 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 carries for 17 yards. Gibson had 9 carries for 36 yards. McLaurin had 5 receptions for 61 yards. And Logan Thomas had 4 receptions, 37 yards, and 1 touchdown. The biggest takeaway for me for this game is just how good the Washington football team defensive line is. It's ridiculous. Now, I say that, and my next statement is not a cop-out because regardless of what it is, it's unacceptable. I knew going into the season our offensive line was trash. It's a whole lot of injuries happening right now. Again, not excuse. If you're out there, you're supposed to play. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to let your quarterback get sacked 8 times. It's kind of ridiculous. But it happened. Lane Johnson was out. 5 starters didn't even play. Miles Sanders didn't play. Lane Johnson, of course, Alshon has still been out. But again, these are excuses. They were just better, and we have flashes of it. And I give Dwayne Haskins a lot of props because I think one of the things people thought about him is if he can really lead and he can really, be that player. And from all reports, apparently he gave a great halftime speech, pumped everybody up because you could see they came back and scored 27 straight points, even though they scored 7 at the end of the first half. It was just bad all around for the Eagles and the Washington football team. They did what they were supposed to do. Chase Young looks great. Kerrigan looked good. I'm still waiting to really see their running back and how he can be. Because I feel like they didn't really get too deep into it with them this game, but it was ridiculous. Let's just be honest. We lost to a team with no name. It happened. And I'm officially moving on to next week. So congratulations to the Washington football team. You guys won. Congratulations. The only silver lining for this is that all the other NFC teams lost besides the Redskins, of course, because they beat us. But the Rams played the Cowboys and the Cowboys. Oh, I'm sorry. Washington football team. See, there it is.
Disease. It's a disease. It's all good.
It's a habit. So the Cowboys lost to the Rams 20-17. Dak Prescott was 25-39, 266 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 carries for 30 yards. Elliott had 22 carries, 96 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 receptions for 31 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. And Cooper had 10 receptions for 81 yards. My biggest takeaway is Alden Smith. I feel like Alden Smith played really well, especially since he hasn't played in the game since 2015 with all of his off the field issues. It seems like he kind of got back on track with that, but they couldn't stop the run really. Like I wasn't expecting Michael Brown to be that quote unquote dominant, but he kind of just did what he wanted. Zeke looked good early. And then, I still feel like Zeke is going to be Zeke regardless. I don't know what's going on with the play calling and, who's doing what. And everybody talks about the controversial pass interference, not pass interference. To me, it's obvious it was pass interference. Some people see it differently. They call it hand fighting. It looked like pass interference to me. Even though they lost the game, they had a lot of chances to still be in the game, and it just wasn't it. I think Dak got to play a little bit better, but again, it's a team sport, so it's not just him. So, and I say this for all the teams that played this week, even though some teams did better than others, I still feel like there's a lot of rust on all of these teams. So I take what each team did in their first week with a grain of salt. Just because they're still trying to figure stuff out. Like this is their real first football action in months. So I still kind of think that we still don't really know what's going on yet. But yeah. Also, with the Cowboys as well, they lost 3 players. Blake Jarwin is out with a torn ACL. That's a tight end they chose to replace Witten. Now Witten's in Las Vegas. So they have to have their next person step up. And then also, I think this one was even a bigger blow. Leighton Vander Esch, broke his collarbone and he'll have to have surgery. He'll be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So I think that's going to hurt them even more because he's like the focal point of their defense. Play callers, when your play callers go out on defense, it's hard. So I think that's going to be their biggest area of opportunity to address in this week and going forward, especially if he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And then last but not least, the Steelers played the Giants, and the Giants did fall to the Steelers. I don't even have the score. I'm tripping. Excuse me, I'm missing stuff. But it was really not anything great to watch. Now I will say Jones didn't look as bad as I thought he would. Especially in a new offense with Jason Garrett. He looked surprisingly comfortable for most of it. I just feel like when he kind of gets a little rattled or whatever, he just kind of makes dumb decisions. But he was 26 to 41, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 4 carries, 422 yards. Saquon Barkley had 15 carries for 6 yards, 6 receptions for 60 yards. And Darius Slayton has 6 receptions, 102 yards, and 2 TDs. Biggest thing, I can't believe Saquon only had 6 yards. It's hard to imagine it with everything. He was he was hit and tackled behind the line multiple times last night. I couldn't fathom it, to see how of a dominant runner that he is. We've seen that in these last couple of seasons. To see him stop like that was crazy. But at the same time, the Steelers has a really, really good defense. And it showed. It showed really, really well. But I still think the Giants missed a lot of opportunities. You know, they were in it in the beginning. You know, they weren't out like straight from the jump. They started off well. They came out, looking kind of good. You know, they drove down the field. They had a really good drive. And like I said, sometimes I just feel like Daniel Jones kind of spazzes out and then he throws an interception on the goal line. That had to hurt. So they did lose 26-16. I've never been sold on Jason Garrett, as far as a coach. I'm interested to see how he goes going forward, from now being a signal caller every down, on the offensive as opposed to being a head coach and you have your offensive coordinator that does that. That's solely his responsibility. But it's going to be a tough season for them as well. And everything in the NFC East just looks terrible as always. Hopefully we'll have better results next week. But this is the life you live when you are a fan of the team in the NFC East. It's tough.
I feel like one specific group of the NFC East had a good weekend. Like they're okay.
Yeah,
right now.
They did. But how long will it last? I mean,
they got Kyler next week. Yeah, they got Kyler this week.
We play the Rams next week. It's gonna be tough.
Y'all get Aaron Donald?
Yeah. I don't like it.
Uphill warm up, baby. Uphill get ready, baby.
I don't like it. I don't like it, but
the clip of Aaron Donald
choice.
Manhandling Dallas's interior line with all those people that they spent a lot of money on. That made it. He took 2 grown men and moved them, and then I was laughing with the Kyler thing. Washington fans, I wish you the best. I hope that y'all defensive ends understand what contain is, because one of the most dangerous things against a pass rush is someone who's not there when you get back there. He's just not there anymore.
He's so quick and shifty. It's crazy.
So, I'm not worried about Chase Young containing. I am worried about Montez Sweat, because D Ford, not that him and Montez Sweat are the same person, but they got one job, and it's always to go upfield. D Ford lost contain 11 times on Sunday. And Kyler was like, scoot, bye. I'm gone. I'm going again.
And it's crazy because he looks so little, just
He be moving. Moving. Oh my goodness, moving. All right, so we're gonna move on. And Octavia, that's not bad. Shout out to you getting through the 8-sack week that you guys
no,
had
it
to
hurts.
get in.
It hurts.
I was laughing
Down
each and
inside.
every sack. It took a lot for me not to text you or anything on Sunday. Just know that. It took a
It's
lot.
okay because I wouldn't have responded. It's fine. I wouldn't have responded. My dad texted me. I ain't respond.
I was over there counting the
Well,
sacks.
I know you got
count.
it. I know you got it. I know you got it.
Look, I was responding to nobody. It's fine. And then my boyfriend's a Niners fan, and y'all didn't play yet, so my team lost. Oh, it was all smiles and laughs, and y'all.
How do you feel 4 hours later?
6 o'clock, I was like, now what? oh, okay. He was mad about that.
Seriously, Rodney, you found that quick. That quick, Rodney. Really,
I
Rodney.
love it though. But no, can I ask a quick question? Just one quick question. Do you think George Kittle should play? Do you think George Kittle should play this week?
It's up to him. I mean, no one's going to tell him not to. I don't think it was as bad as it looks. I'm more concerned about, I don't know, bad Jimmy not showing up, because that was horrible. And I don't care about everything else that happened. We got bad Jimmy in week 1, and even with all that, you had a chance to redeem yourself. Then, like last year in week 1, he's been bad in openers the entire time, and nobody says it because they won the games. If Jameis didn't go full Jameis, well, I guess you could say if he didn't go full Brady and throw 2 pick sixes last year against Tampa, open the season, Jimmy almost tricked that game away too. Last year, week 1 was horrible. It's just Jameis threw to a couple Niners. He threw the 2 more Niners than Jimmy did. That was it. But we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, going to talk about the NBA just a little bit because the field is getting smaller. Some folks, it's all about Jimmy tricking away stuff. The Clippers, we're going to talk about you in just a little bit. Man. WNBA going on. Right, we're going to get to that, talk about our end of the season awards. Octavia's going to lead us through that. We got 9-4-50. And then, there's going to be some whole rapid fire, of course. Pitts League Week 4 updates. You're watching the Focus TV. We will be right back.
Oh, they came back.
Welcome back to the Focus TV. We're going to continue where we left off with the NBA playoffs. The conference finals on the eastern side of things, they're already going. Western Conference, there's a series kind of holding things up. Nuggets are doing that whole no, not yet thing. So we're going to talk about the Nuggets forcing a game 7. Right now, we're going to take that opportunity to do just that. The Clippers, once again, double-digit lead, 16 to be exact. The Nuggets, once again, did not care, walked them down, ran past them, and now we have game 7. Octavia, going to start with your thoughts on Clippers Nuggets. They play later this evening.
Yeah, I was peeking in and out of the game on Sunday just because, of course, all the sports are happening at the same time. But I can't believe it. I thought after when they were up 3-1 when they played, I thought the Clippers would close it out then. Then they won that game. I was like, okay. Then they won again. I'm like, I just think it's a lot of will, but at the same time, I think the Clippers are playing. I think they keep thinking that they're gonna just run out there and they're gonna lay down, and everybody just wants to see the battle of LA between them and the Lakers, and the Denver Nuggets don't care nothing about that. And Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Jokic, and it's crazy to me that people still think that Jokic isn't the best big man playing right now. It is what it is. Everybody has their own opinions, but they not about to just lay down. And if the Clippers don't win this game, it's gonna be a lot of sad people that really just thought, Paul George, still hasn't been able to get over the hump and see, Kawhi, like his quote unquote, all things I've been hearing all day listening to ESPN and all types of reports is this has to do with his legacy. You know, he can't let this happen, but it's going to be a tough out. I can't wait till 9:00 until this game come on, because they played. You know, I really think that they played, and they just thought that they'd be able to turn it on and they'd be able to just cruise to it, and it ain't work out like that.
All right, Cardell.
I mean, I agree with Octavia. They thought it was sweet. You know, they got too cute when they were up double digits, and the Nuggets are the wrong team to play with. They have a lot of firepower, a lot of versatility, and as far as play goes, they have the best player in the series. You know, as far as production goes, and that's Jokic. They don't have an answer for Jokic, and that's the reason why you shouldn't play. But the problem is the Nuggets run everything through Jokic. So you playing games and you just giving this dude the opportunity to not only get himself going, but get the rest of the team going. And then you have issues. I'm also looking at, you know, their 2 6 men of the year that's supposed to be the difference makers, Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. They haven't brought it. They haven't brought it at all in this series, man. You know, I mean, Lou had 14, but he finally woke up a little bit. But it's nothing compared to what they brought like last year in the finals against the Warriors. They've been locked up, seriously. And so basically, you know, with the bench, it really hasn't been consistent production. Paul George had a big game scoring wise, but you got to do it on both ends. You know, Gary Harris kind of got loose. Michael Porter came in, hit some shots, especially big shots the last couple games. You know, Jamal Murray's been going off. You know, Patrick Beverly. You know, everybody know I mess with Beverly, but he got to be more disciplined. He got to chill. All that emotional stuff, man, it hurts the team when you fouling out and putting them in a bonus or whatnot, because you just amped up for no reason, man. Channel that. You know, forget about the refs. Just focus on locking up Murray. And Kawhi's been a steady hand, honestly. You know, I just want to see him be more vocal and getting a couple of his teammates' face and firing them up. And I think that's what's needed. You know, you can't just lead by example all the time. When you're the leader, you got to just be like, man, you know, like I said, you know, during the Outlook show when, you know, he gave the pass to Reggie Jackson early in the series, and he just effed up the layup. And he's like, man, I ain't passing to you to shoot that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was funny, but that's the type of stuff you might have to do more often. And as for legacy game for ESPN, they always hype it up. I don't pay nothing. Listen, as many game sevens and big time playoff games that their guy have lost that suits up in LA, and they still hold him in high regard. I ain't trying to hear none of that, man. He's proven. Yeah, he's getting it done. Ain't like he averaging like 14. He's getting it done. You need other guys to do what they're supposed to do, and then this series would have been over. And you know that's the problem. And you gotta look at Doc. Some of his substitutions, like the last game, he tried to stick to his rotation as far as Kawhi getting a breather in the third quarter. But when that lead started slipping, hey, come on, Kawhi, let's go. I'll put him right back in with the quickness. I like, bro, you can rest. You can rest the next day. You know, we got a couple of days before we start, so you can rest that. Now we in the game 7 because you know you trying to stick to the script, man. But you got to throw all that out the window tonight, man. You know, it is what it is. The only thing I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at the stars today. No, tonight, my fault. I'm looking at the stars. Kawhi, Paul George versus Jokic and Murray. And because the stars determine these type of games. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see what happens.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not too much to add, man. Octavia and Cardell pretty much touched on everything, and I agree wholeheartedly. The Clippers, I feel like they've just been looking past people and saying, "Oh, the finals is going to be whoever wins the battle of the LAs." Well, you got to get there first. You know, the Lakers took care of business. They're waiting in the conference finals. You know, they're waiting on you guys. So yeah, and I think the other guys are acting entitled. Like this is something that's owed to them, and you got to go out there and take it, man. Kawhi's the only one that's been here before. Like none of you other guys have accomplished what he's accomplished, or you just got to get down to business, man. Show up, play a role, you know, do what you got to do, remain focused, and just put these guys away. Like this series should have been over by now, and you know. Cardell, like he touched on Sunday and just said again today, some of that got to go on Kawhi. You know, he got to dig in him a little bit. You know, last year Toronto was a different situation. That was a young, hungry team. You know, and they were just following him, and he he carried them, and they did their part. But this is a different group. You know, these are a couple more high profile guys like Paul George. He was a borderline superstar at one point, you know, with Indiana battling LeBron in the playoffs every year. And you know, Lou Will, he's a sixth man, but you know, he has a name in the league and a reputation. And so you got to leave these guys a little different. You got to be a little more hands on, and not just kind of show up and do your job and hope they follow. Like, but yeah, man, it's they should be embarrassed, and they should come out with some intensity to prove that, you know, it's their fault that this has gone 7 games. Excuse me, you know, and kudos to Denver, man. They've been playing their ass off, you know, and they played themselves into position again to advance when everybody counted them out. So, you know, the Clippers got to play, man. They got to do something about this. Jokic just tearing them up. They have no answer. Like I agree with Cardell. He's been the best player in the series so far. And yeah, they just got to take care of business, and Doc has to be better. You know, you got to make some type of adjustment, or you can't just stick to the norm in these type of situations. You know, sometimes it's hey man, we just got to win. You know, like Cardell said, that stretch when your lead is dwindling, you got to go to the guy, to your best player. Like, forget all that rest stuff and your normal rotations. This is not normal. This is the playoffs. It get it done or go home. That's it. So, you know, forget all that other stuff, man. And that's it, man. I ain't even gonna waste no more time talking about this. Clippers just got to get it done. Like it will be a monumental failure if they don't advance.
Yeah. Not
and
only
real quick, you know this.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. You know, this dog made an adjustment. You ain't seen Reggie Jackson after that first round.
Oh,
he ate up, right? All right, so he will make an adjustment necessary. So come on, Doc. Come on. It's clear what you need to do.
Yeah, this isn't the first go round with Doc having good teams playing extra games they shouldn't be playing. Times this has happened in the past. You know, hate to bring that up, but again, we just try to keep things honest here. So as much as, you know, leadership from Kawhi needs to take a step forward, I definitely agree with that. And Doc, this is another moment too. You shouldn't be here again right now at this point. And then for the others on the Clippers roster, not named Kawhi Leonard, this ain't the time to be playing. You are not guaranteed anything as far as a roster spot next year if you fail. Just being honest. All that stuff, great, especially with Jerry West. It will be done. And like we said, you came into the series. One of the reasons a lot of folks like the Clippers, including all of us, is because unlike most teams, you had a steady production off the bench, and you've yet to see it. The entire postseason, you've yet to see it consistently. And now you're at where you're at. And I'm not tripping so much about the offensive part, but you can't have that many folks lost on defense on a regular basis. And it just continues to happen over and over and over and over. And you are where you are now. Like we were talking the other day, you know, with LA, they got a couple broke folks that are cerebral from a playmaking standpoint. What makes Denver so unique is Jokic does it at the 5. I was watching some clips today, people were cutting up, and he's walking up court without the ball, calling the whole thing out. Get him in this action, switch him, food. Go get him. No, not him. Bring here, eat. Over and over and over again. So this is on the Clippers. This is just one of those things. Same way we've been talking about Michael Porter being a liability on defense, and the Clippers not doing the best of jobs of hunting him out. The Nuggets haven't had an issue hunting out who they want to hunt out. It's real easy. Oh, you got Kawhi on you? Come here. Screen. Give me another one. Screen again. Okay. Eat. Oh, and look, it's a simple action. Someone's wide open yet again. Foul. It's just been bad. But we're going to go ahead and take our second break. Before that, it's going to be preceded by the 9-4-50 breakdown. Jamal Hayward's back this week, breaking down pick and pop shooting options again. Pick and pop shooting options. So check that out. We'll see you guys after the break. And then we'll talk about the WNBA just a little bit, and most importantly, get through these. It hurt trying to get these lists together. So we'll see you guys. It hurt. It was tough.
Jesus Christ.
Today we're going to work on some options after pick and pop. So I'm going to act as if I'm a big. I'm setting this thing here. I'll be popping to the top of the key. So I'm going to show 3 options today. So 2 options on how you pop out first. One out. Or if I'm setting the screen, put it over the rest of it, open up and pop out. Those are the 2 options. So the 3 shot options on the pick and pop. First, 3, pop, 2. Second option, 3, pop out, press forward, shot fake, go left, shot. Third option. 3, pop out, fake, 3, my feet still, those are 3 options to pick and pop for me, or stretch forward. Today we're going to work on some options after pick and pop. So I'm going to act as if I'm a big. I'm setting this thing here. I'll be popping to the top of the key. So I'm going to show 3 options today. So 2 options on how you pop out first. One out. Or if I'm setting the screen, put it over the rest of it, open up and pop out. Those are the 2 options. So the 3 shot options on the pick and pop. First, 3, pop, 2. Second option, 3, pop out, press forward, shot fake, go left, shot. Third option, 3, pop out, fake, 3, my feet still, those are 3 options to pick and pop for me, or stretch forward.
Welcome back to the Focus TV. As always, I want to give a special thanks to Jamal Hayward providing the 9-4-50 breakdown. Look, man, I'm already worried about going through these lists. It's been tough. But before doing so, I just want to give you guys a quick updates on the home team, the WNBA. They did finish off the regular season strong, locking down the final and 8th seed in the playoffs. They'll be playing tonight at 9 p.m. in the second of the 2 elimination games. Right now, Connecticut's beating Phoenix 71-58. There's still about 7 minutes left in that one, so that should be exciting. We talked about this in a preview that we had. Again, go follow us on social for that. Cardell also provided some great previews today on both of these games. Both on all 3 games, on the men's side and the women's side. But Octavia, if you will, lead us through award season in the WNBA.
Okay. I know this is so hard for you guys, but we'll go ahead and get started with the biggest award there is. So who do you have as your MVP this season? And we will start with Raymond.
Oh, hot seat off the break. All right. For MVP, I went with Asia Wilson. She just had an outstanding season. She put the Aces on her back, led them to the top seed. They were missing Liz Cambage and Kelsey Plume this season. She expanded her game. Like I feel like it was several times this season where, she just had to go out and win one for them. and that's no shade to her teammates because they play well, really well. Adding Angel McCoughtry was huge for them. She gave them another dimension offensively. And her and Asia work extremely well together. When Asia can operate, on the low block or in the high post area to give Angel room to slash and cut and do the things she's great at. But just feel like Asia was the most dominant player in the league this year. She stepped up and the Aces had a mission, seeing as how the season ended last year, and they feel like they let it slip away and they coming back to play for the title. So yeah, that was my pick.
Okay, Cardell.
Same, rolling with Asia Wilson, locked up the number 1 seed in the league. She did it in every way, both ends. Hell, she could be defensive player of the year if you wanted to look at it like that. But yeah, she just stepped the game up and literally, I just feel like this is the first season where she literally had no weaknesses. There was nothing you could really do to slow her down or like, you know what, make her do that, and we got a chance. You just had to take that beating like a woman. So, props to her for the improvement, and I think she deserves it.
All right, Wilson.
Yeah, I hate to be, to spoil this, but no, it's 3 for 3 here. It's AJ. Clear. As you mentioned, she checked every box consistently, and consistency is the big thing because we've gotten to these, not here, but folks have gotten to these extra debates about MVPs over the past couple of years across sports or various awards, and throwing consistency out the window. For the sake of just wanting to argue. Again, she checked every box, and it's been fun to watch her continually grow and be there for her team time and time again.
All right, so we have us 3 for 3. So let's now move on to Rookie of the Year, and let's go back around. You start, Wilson.
All right, this one's tough just because some great candidates were kind of knocked out due to injury with this award. That said, I went with Crystal Dangerfield and the job she did for the Lynx. With Sylvia Fowles being missing for the length of time she was out with her calf injury, you knew it was going to be Fees and Syl and others were going to kind of step up and fill in as they could. The Lynx did a great job stepping up as a whole. I think it's kind of hard coming into situation like that with there's kind of sort of a big name that used to play there at that position that was pretty darn good, but again, consistency. I think Crystal's been solid all year, to take the starting job early on as she did and retain it, so I went with Crystal Dangerfield.
Okay, Cardell.
Same. Anytime a rookie can come in and average with 16.2 points, almost 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and 47% from the field, 33 from 3, 92% from the free throw line. That's just, that's excellent basketball. That's all-star numbers out the gate. You know what I mean? It is just, you just don't do that as a rookie. And a 5'5" point guard, and then we all know how physical the WNBA is, and they swallow small point guards up, man. They don't last long unless you get in there like you real tough, like a Ivory Ladd, somebody, exceptional. And she's coming in the gate. I mean, she's coming in off top, just like I'm one of them. You know what I mean? So, and the scary part is she's gonna get better, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she definitely gets my vote. It's not even a question. It's no question.
Okay, Ray.
Man, another trifecta. I went Crystal Dangerfield as well. I mean, Wilson and Cardell just pretty much laid it out. The thing that stands out to her about me is her coming in and immediately earning Coach Reeves' trust and her respect and getting inserted in that starting lineup so quickly. And she, and she proved her right. Minnesota wasn't expected to do as well as they did this season. And then especially when Sylvia Fowles went down, Dangerfield's her skill set, like her shooting, her being able to break down the defense, The Lynx were still able to perform at a high level. She gave Fees room to work because she can stretch the floor. And she brought it on both ends and was consistent all season. And I really wanted to give it to Kennedy Carter for selfish reasons because she was amazing this year as well. She did miss some time due to injury, and Crystal Dangerfield's team is in the playoffs, and she was a big reason for that. So you got to reward winning. So yeah, Crystal Dangerfield gets the nod.
All right, let's see if we can go. Everybody picked the same one again. So now we're gonna go to your defensive player of the year. Let's start with Cardell this time. Oh, this is where it gets tricky.
Oh, this one hurt.
Hey man, I gotta go with Stewie. I went with Stewie. She led the league in defensive win shares. Meaning that she won her matchup more oftentimes than not. She averaged nearly 2 steals a game with 1.3 blocks. Man, the way I saw her come back off her injury and just swarm everybody. I think one game she had about 5 or 6 steals, just ripping everybody at half court. And I'm like, yo, she didn't even do this before the injury. What's going on? I gotta give her a problem, man. She's man, it's sick how she is, man. Like I can't even. It's like I know women hate comparing it to the dudes, but more dudes watch our show, so I gotta get them to understand. It's like it's on like a Kevin Garnett type level, where all 5 I can get down low and strap it up. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna get the rebound, bring it up, and give you a bucket. That's her game in a nutshell, man. So I'm gonna roll with her.
Okay, Wilson.
Yeah, this one hurts so much. I went with her teammate. I know she doesn't get nearly enough credit, but Alicia Clark is outstanding on that side of the ball. And she unfortunately, we were literally just talking about this on the men's side, and like the Drew Holiday, the PJ Tuckers on the men's side, they kind of get ignored for everything they bring to the table defensively. Mm-hmm. I wanted to take this moment. Obviously, I don't have a vote, but my vote for this program, Alicia Clark gets my vote for what she does. As far as win shares goes, she's up at the top, right there with that. Again, and we know no matter what's going on, and since she's been in Seattle, that's been the person you put on people you don't want to pop off at all. And this is not a knock to the other 2 very great defenders she plays with, but Alicia Clark's outstanding, and just take the moment that was my pick. Look, I don't even understand how to really justify it more because there's a couple players that are, but yeah, that's where I went with it.
All right, last but not least.
We got some diversity here. But yeah, this was the hardest award for me to choose. I think I changed my vote maybe like 3 or 4 times. Then I just got tired and gave up, rolled the dice, and ended up on Alyssa Thomas. I mean, she just does what she does. She's one of the most versatile defenders in the league. She's the centerpiece for everything Connecticut wants to do on the defensive end. Without John Quill being back there, the great disruptor in the paint, it just made her job that much more important. Connecticut, they didn't start off well, and during the tough times, they were able to semi hold it together because of their defense. They were second in opponents' points per game this season, and Alyssa was at the head of that. And she averaged 9 rebounds, 7 on defensive end, 2 steals per game, and I mean she just gets after it on that end, And I mean it's like I'm not even fully wholeheartedly behind this because it was just like it's like legitimately 4 candidates for this, man. But just to keep it interesting now.
Okay, so we had a little bit of diversity there. Change it up a little bit. So now we're going to see who do you think is the most improved this year? Go ahead and start with Wilson.
Myisha Hines-Allen, Washington Mystics. To have that big of a jump is ridiculous, but she wasn't alone. There was another really good candidate, but Benijah Laney. She went from journeywoman to, she's a nice little piece. She could fit in. Here's a defensive stopper to, I could give you these buckets too. She went from barely scoring to averaging 17 this year, but so did Myisha. Myisha last year averaged just under 8 minutes a game, 2.3 points. Obviously, a very limited game. This year, with more minutes, clearly, 17 points, just under 9 rebounds a game, 2.6 assists, 1.5 steals, on 51 from the floor, 42 from 3, and 82 from the line.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Cardell?
Myisha Hines-Allen.
That's it. Just drop the mic. I feel you. Just drop the mic then. All right, Ray.
Oh man, I look like we on the same band with Myisha. I mean, it's just what she was able to do, just with everything the Mystics were up against this season. Like, I mean, it's I don't think it was a question. Benijah had a great season as well, but again, somebody's still playing and somebody's not. Myisha, she won Player of the Week twice, and she turned up during the last week for that last playoff push. So she gets the nod to me.
Clean sweep. All right, let's see how we go now. Who do you have as the 6th woman of the year? And we'll go back around this time and start with Ray.
I have the person who won it last year, Dearica Hamby. She does. She's a problem for the Aces coming off the bench. Just her size, athleticism, her versatility. She just put the work in, man, and she's vital for them, and she's able to give their starters breathers with significant minutes, and most of the time she's on the court to finish the game. So she holds on to her award for another year.
All right, Cardell.
Same, Hamby. Average 13 and 7, nearly 2 steals. 6'3". I know she played a 4 mostly, but she's a cheat code because she has skill and athleticism of a small forward. So it's just a tough matchup. And where her and Asia on the floor together is it's ugly. You know what I mean? It's hard for teams to match up with that. So gotta roll with her, man. Like Raymond said, she keeps her award.
All right, Wilson, it's all up to you.
Same.
See what happens.
Same. For every reason that they mentioned. It is her reward. It is her award until someone takes it from her, or until they insert her into the starting lineup. But there's no really rush to do that because it's working. So.
Okay. So I'm actually very interested to see who you guys pick for this next award. Who is the coach of the year? Cardell.
I'm going with the hometown guy, Mike Tabor. That's a given. All the stuff he had to deal with, he lost his entire roster and still made the playoffs. It's not even a question, man. He got robbed last year because they were too good. So, but they're gonna rob him again because they, too bad. It's just, come on, man. It's no coach at any level in the history of the game that has lost what he lost and still figured out a way to get their team in the playoffs, man. And then just we're going to play for next year. Just develop young players. We'll be back next year. All respect to him.
I had a feeling that's what you say. Wilson, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm going with Coach T. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs. This could have went the way the Liberty went. This thing could have went 2 ways. After things went sideways, once they lost Ariel Powers, they went through some things for a whole month, and then to climb up out of that hole that they were in and find themselves in the playoffs with an opportunity to advance. And not only that, it's one thing to be like, I still want to develop while still trying to reach a goal. Well, Maisha just got Player of the Month or something, or the week yet again, I think.
Both.
Today.
Both.
Yeah, both. So again, as she goes, I'm going with Coach T, man. I'm sure he won't get it, but going with Coach T.
That's who we picking now. And Ray, finish it on up.
Man, I promise we ain't cheat off each other tests. But, I'm going with Coach T.
Y'all been breaking
too,
quarantine rules.
It's obvious. They had a 1-12 stretch in a 22-game season and made the playoffs. That's the coach of the year. Like, come on, man. Like what more do you want him to do? Like, lost his whole team. Then on top of that, lost one of his key players and still fought their way into the postseason. Coach of the year, plain and simple. Like, I don't think anybody else in the history of the game could have done that. And that's not hyperbole. That's not hyping it up. I mean, that's an awesome job. Like, I can't imagine like how many beers he used to drink when he got back to his room, because this was a tough one for him. But they fought through, and now they where they at. So he need to get some recognition for that, because that's crazy.
Nah, by all
I've
means,
seen a few mystics. No, I was gonna say I've seen a few mystics posting pictures working out, going to some young talent ready to take some spots next year, and Tibbs ain't got no problem. Replace you ain't producing.
The crazy part about that is, like, we've even heard them make their kind of comparisons or similarities at times to the Warriors on the men's side. It's going to be that type of Hunger Games thing for minutes next year. It's someone's going to look outside of like maybe Elena and Tina that have a spot to start with. Fun times. We're running low on time, so what we're going to do is just speed up this process a little bit, because I want to make sure we share this with you guys before we get off air. Cardell and Ray, I'm going to ask you guys to share your first and second team all WNBA. Cardell, start with you, and then Ray.
All right, first team, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Candace Parker, Courtney Vandersloot, Diana Taurasi. Second team, DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Nafisa Collier, Rigo Bawale, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and rookie team, Crystal Dangerfield, Trinity Carter, Satu Sabali, Julie Alamon, and Jasmine Jones. All
right, Ray, same for you, sir.
All right, first team, I had Courtney Vandersloot, Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, and DeWanna Bonner. Second team, I had Chelsea Gray, Arike Ongubuwale, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Candace Parker, and Nafisa Collier. Rookie team, Kennedy Carter, Crystal Dangerfield, Julie Alamon, Jasmine Jones, and Satu Sabali.
All right, for me, first team, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Candace Parker, Courtney Vandersloot, Arike Ogunbowale. Second team, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Diana Taurasi, Nafisa Collier, DeWanna Bonner, and Alyssa Thomas. All rookie team is literally the same as you both. Kennedy Carter, Crystal Dangerfield, Satu Sabali, Jasmine Jones, and Julie Alamon. Lastly, we're going to try to do this quick too. Just your first and second team all defense. Ray, start with you, and then Cardell.
Give me 1 second. Oh, wait a minute. My notes are jumbled here. Cardell, you go. I'll
okay, I'll go and then Cardell and give you some time. For me, first team all defense had Candace Parker, Alicia Clark, Alyssa Thomas, Ariel Atkins, and Brittany Sykes. Well, what we can do is we'll share those a little bit later. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please follow us on social at The Focus TV, at The Focus_TV. Extremely busy week. We look forward to seeing you guys very, very soon. I'm sure Octavia should possibly be in a better mood next week than her segment.
Yeah, let's just scrap this whole week.
The bar is kind of low. You just gotta prevent 8 sacks. So if you give up 6 or 5, it's all right. So,
hopefully
low bar.
we get our right tackle back. Never know.
We'll see what happens. Want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. We truly appreciate your support. We'll see you very soon. For those of you that follow us on social, we'll probably see you later this evening. You guys have a good one.